Hit me.
From Studio A in Arcata, behind the redwood curtain, it's time for...
Succotash.
Yes, Succotash, the comedy soundcast featuring snippets from comedy...
Soundcasts.
And also interviews with comedians, soundcasters, and other showbiz folk. And now, here's this episode's host from up the coast, the man who puts the X in Xbox and the tie on antisocial, comedy soundcaster, Tyson Saner.
Saluton, estas me, Tyson Saner, welcoming you to Epi315 of Succotash, the soundcast that might just introduce you to your next favorite soundcast. As long as you understand that soundcast is what we here have been calling podcasts since way back in the day, shortly after Succotash launched some 11 years ago. There's also an excellent chance that we have already introduced you to your current favorite soundcast. Perhaps it was something that you heard in last week's episode 314, in which I brought you clips from the soundcasts Black Aesthetic, Jeremiah Wonders, and Real Life Sci-Fi. Perhaps not. It's difficult to say. One thing that isn't difficult to say, by the way, is thank you for listening, which is essentially what I'm doing right now in the guise of merely telling you about it. Or is that the lazy explanation? IDK. This week, I've got another round of the 3-clip Tango for you in the form of content bites from the soundcasts known as the Winnebago Boys, Oxventure, a Dungeons & Dragons podcast, and The Todd Glass Show. I've also got an ad from our longtime 100% fake sponsor Henderson's Pants for you to enjoy, as you indeed might. So look forward to that. Alright, I've got very little time to do this, so let's get to the clips. First in line is The Winnebago Boys from Evan Vest. And its very, very to the point description says Evan Vest and Ian Webry are the Winnebago Boys. So I've chosen a clip. Yeah, they don't say much about the show. I've chosen a clip from May 11th, 2021, from an episode called Many Gods. And the description says, "We're back. My bad. Had a rough spell, but we're back. Ian is now a permanent host. We talk about the Tony Hinchcliffe controversy, Israel/Palestine, and mental illness. See you again soon." Evan Vest is a local Humboldt County comedian who I've spoken to a few times and even had the pleasure to see perform often. And the clip I featured from his show is a very serious discussion of comedy and some of its many aspects.
I was noticing how a lot of the people the middle class people in middle class, maybe even people are less economically privileged to have to work caregiving jobs and harder jobs in the medical field have no time for they're really just gonna like Jeff Dunham and Big Bang Theory and sitcoms and things that are very they have no time for any kind of humor that has a specific bite or substance to it, because they don't have to care because they deal with intense situations. And it's just it's really
I'm
weird though.
Mentally chomping at exactly what you're saying, because I just got back from my class, which is all nursing students, etc., except for me. And some of them are a bit smarter than others or whatever. They're all I'd say over the average, at least.
Right.
And that has nothing to do with it anyway. But I noticed that a lot of them, because they do work, and the difference of what they're getting versus I'm getting off the snap from the teacher in that shit is that it's kind of goofy. I almost think that to a degree that humor can be a potentiator for at least certain kinds of intelligent thought. That makes any sense? Not that just being a jokester means you're going to be smart, but being able to I don't know, hold things side by side and find the nuanced, entertaining value between that might neuro stitch you in there where you're smarter in a certain way. I'm not saying just being a guy who does a bunch of open mics will make it to where you can be a scientist or whatever, but I mean a person has an appreciation for a bit of both can help. And
sure.
I noticed that I think with some of these women that I'm in their class with, they're having maybe like they're good at the thing. I'm sure they'll be good at their field, but they're having a little bit of a problem with these written exams. Is I don't know. I think if they had a little bit more time to like watch some shit or check out other shit, read some shit that's funny, it could maybe almost like I don't know, help thresh out some of these like just like different ways to compare things. I don't know. I'm losing my thread, but yeah.
Yeah, you need like a frame of reference is like good to have and to like broaden that frame of reference so you have like more to work with. It's like, oh, he's good. Like a lot of like I don't know. It's like only so much compartment space almost. Like especially depending on like what you're immediately trying to like accomplish.
Yeah, that if like
do.
You're into comedy or into like even books or something like that, where you find them funny and you spend enough time like kind of understanding like why that's funny or why something. I don't know. It's like a different kind of a comparative analysis that I think has applications into further stuff beyond comedy.
Sure, I feel like I mean, comedy serves its purpose in a lot of different ways.
They aren't apparent,
one,
that are like not obvious to the thing because you think like, oh, well, this is just to get people to laugh right now, but like it's part of like the civilization thing or whatever. I think it's like it's got almost kind of like an immune system factor to it to like prevent stagnation for one, because that like presents problems in a lot of things. Being able to notice when people have like capped out or aren't trying or whatever are like kind of part of that. At least I think.
Right. No, yeah, for sure.
Mostly my point though is about like my fellow classmates in that thing or whatever. I don't think that they're like necessarily even unfunny people, but like I think that if they were to like watch more shit like 30 Rock or something randomly, it wouldn't hurt their studying patterns. It might help it, where they might think that it'd just be something in the way or something. That or just they don't know, they wouldn't know that they liked it or whatever until they were already watching it. I was like a lazy fuck for a large part of my 20s, so yeah, I don't know. I'm just saying that from experience. What?
I'm like starting to think that there's like a lot of weird there's like a lot of different words too that like almost carry different connotations of like
the same sentiment. That definitely happens a lot.
You have like
with my writing and stuff like that. I spend almost sometimes too much time when I'm trying to do like a paper in the thesaurus because I look at the different words that are like very similar to each other but mean, like what you were just saying, like they carry a different weight in a different shade or whatever.
Even like humor, there's like humor, satire, comedy, stand. I think like those are almost like related, but like can be different. Like so, I think like comedy is almost like to me like the word comedy almost like it's like almost like immediate like if I like looked at you with a funny face and like give you a giggle. That's like comedy because there's like absolutely no point, but it's like a silly thing for like the pure
like neutral comedy,
spirit of like neutral and then the like stand up has like elements of like preachiness to it or like heady like heady like literature like improv. It's so weird. Well, like improv is just like
comedy is almost like your job is to bring up something maybe neutral, like a board, if you will, and then hammer a nail through it maybe. That's your existence. So that's maybe like the two pronged thing. Making an observation is maybe one prong.
Like when Steve Martin
just busts out a Tango,
with like the bow and arrow in his head, and then he like takes it off, and he's like, "I had this thing on like the whole time. I must look like an idiot."
That's when you're folding it against itself. Also, if you're like ever to try to like fully analyze comedy in the way that you do physics or something like that, you're gonna be left with like nothing at the end, and like not got it. Yeah,
because I was also like satire has like a lot of like implications because there's like it like I guess satire is supposed to be funny, but it's like not.
Yeah, you can satirize people without being funny, to where it's like its own element aside from comedy. You can just do it to where it's like mean or gross, even.
Yeah.
So you can find Evan Vest on Twitter. Did I say Twitter? Twitter. At Evan Vest is Real. That is capital EVAN, capital VEST, capital I-S, capital R-E-A-L. And there is a Twitter account for the name Ian Webry spelled exactly the same way, which is capital E-I-A-N, capital W-E-B-R-E. So it might be him. Who can say? And I should point out that this soundcast launched back in February of 2021, calling itself Good Ass Podcast, which made it a bit challenging to find and access bits of information on it. Mostly, I just focused on getting a clip of something that Evan Vest was involved in within podcasting and worked backwards from there. This is the long way around to telling you that you can find the main webpage. Now, I should mention anchor.fm, specifically by going to your web browser and putting https:// anchor, anchor.fm /goodasspodcast in the search or address bar, or whatever is the equivalent in the no doubt confusing future that you are currently living in your present. Now, I should mention about anchor.fm. It's a website that I hear about more and more often as a byproduct of listening to many different soundcasts that I happen upon in the course of locating clips for this show. Maybe I should start doing another soundcast specifically for anchor.fm. This isn't a plug for them, but everyone who I hear use it makes it sound easy and even potentially profitable to do so. Food for thought. Plunk, 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 plunk. Next up, Oxventure, a Dungeons & Dragons podcast from the Oxventurers Guild. So its description says, the Oxventurers Guild presents a D&D real play podcast. Join Johnny Chiodini, Jane Douglas, Andy Farrant, Mike Channel, Ellen Rose, and Luke Westaway for chit-chat and chaotic good times. The Oxventure podcast brings you new commentary alongside audio versions of classic Oxventure Dungeons & Dragons sessions recorded for live shows, streams, and the original video episodes published on YouTube channels Outside Xbox and Outside Extra. Yes, so the YouTube channels Outside Xbox and its sister station / spinoff Outside Extra add OX to the beginning for the acronym Outside Xbox, which is why it's called Oxventure instead of Adventure. The clip is from an episode that posted recently. It's from July 22nd, 2022, and it's Wedded Redemption Part 1. Or you could say Wedded Redemption Part 1, because it is in fact a video game pun. Its description says, Happy 100th episode. Dungeon Master Johnny, quote, literally everyone else in the world, Chiodini, joins Andy and Jane for the Oxventure origins story and the first part of Oxventure Dungeons & Dragons live show, Wedded Redemption, with special guest player Harry McIntyre, recorded at MCM Comic-Con, London, 2021. Aha. There's a video version on YouTube, and this clip features part of the introductory portion of the campaign the group is about to embark upon, and also the introduction of Harry McIntyre's character. Normally, Luke Westaway is part of the party, and he plays a half-orc bard named Dob. That's probably enough context for you.
We begin this adventure at a bus stop. Because one of the Oxventurers has gone off on what's commonly known in Geth as a foreign exchange adventurers program. So Dob has gone to literally party up with some adventures in a mysterious and far-off land in exchange for a different adventurer. In the hopes that we can increase our understanding of one another's adventuring habits and just generally make the world a more knowledgeable and better and welcoming place. So the Oxventurers have arrived at a bus stop at the appointed hour. There is a bus pulling up. It is pulled by horses because internal combustion engines don't work, at least here. I don't... the bus sort of screeches to a halt. The door opens, and out steps a figure. What does this figure look like?
I have very pale fur and a sort of Mohican, because who doesn't want one of those, right? I have a little light crossbow in a haversack with some other stuff in it, and I extend my paw to everyone.
Hey, so I assume you're the person that's buying Dob from us? That's what's happening, right? We sold Dob, finally.
You sold Dob?
Yeah.
How much did you get?
Well, I don't know. I thought someone else had sorted out the money, but yeah, finally, we got rid of him, right, guys?
No, that's not what's happening here.
So what's happening here?
Dob will come back, we assume, unless he gets killed on that other adventure.
Well, then who the hell is this?
Oh, my name is Aubrey. It's a pleasure.
Hi. I immediately
being
shake
called
hands.
Aubrey.
I just very lightly lick the top of your hand and smile.
Wonderful, says a voice, as an officious-looking person steps off the bus with a cast-iron clipboard. Greetings, everybody. My name is Norman. I am here on behalf of the Foreign Exchange Adventurers Programme, here to make sure that our guest gets settled in the land of Geth. Thank you. We have acknowledged receipt of one adventurer named Dob. We will return him to you in you didn't pay for the insurance, so we'll just give him back as you get him.
But he will be repatriated, right?
Yes, he will, yes.
It's a scam. That's how they get you.
So, as I have already said, my name is Norman. I will be accompanying you on this quest, although at a remove, I'm just here on a contingency basis in case of an emergency. In fact, it would be better if you take no notice of me at all. The programme has pre-generated a quest for you. I will now outline the quest, and then you can begin a wonderful journey of discovery and mutual learning.
No, I hate those things.
I'm afraid that there is no other quest, so this is what you'll be doing. You are going to a wedding. Reception.
Hooray!
Reception. We couldn't get you into the main
Even
event.
better.
It's basically an insult.
You will be attending the marriage of, the reception, of the wedding of Alicia Featherby to her new wife, Michaela Fortescue, now Michaela Featherby. It is taking place at the Featherby family home, a remote estate which is 1 hour's journey south. It is being hosted by her father, Viscount Michael Featherby. Please hold questions. And it is likely he is going to be assassinated at the event. You need to prevent this assassination in order to earn the credit for your exchange programme and thereby retrieve your deposit. I will now take questions. Yes?
Cash or open bar?
Well, if you had held this question longer, I would have told you the Featherbys are, of course, a family of famous vintners, and thus it is open bar. Spirits are extra. Yes?
Sit-down meal or buffet?
It is, I believe, a sit-down meal. Would you like to know any of the particulars about why this man is in danger, or can I outline the other stuff you can have for free? Yes?
Well, I was actually asking if any of them are known to have any feline allergies.
No, we have done a background check on that. Actually, that's a point. In this world, you're considered to be hypoallergenic. Congratulations.
I love D&D!
Are we expected to bring a present? Because I don't want to.
Well, if you're going to be like that, then I suppose not. Perhaps you can spin it that if you saved this man's life, that's a good enough gift.
Yeah,
Life is the greatest gift of all, probably. That's what people who turn up to weddings without gifts would say.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you can find Johnny Chiodini on Twitter at Johnny, I think. That is all lowercase JOHNNEH. Jane Douglas can be found at Jane Douglas, all lowercase JANEDOUGLAS. Andy Farrant can be found at Farantula, capital FARRANTULA. Mike Channel can be found at Mike Channel, capital MIKE, capital CHANNELL. That is his real name. Ellen Rose can be found at Ickle Nelly Rose, which is all lowercase ICKLENELLIEROSE. Special guest Harry McIntyre can be found at Harry McIntyre, which is capital HARRY, capital M, small CENTIRE. And because he is normally part of the program, Luke Westaway's Twitter can be found, all lowercase, Luke Westaway, LUKEWESTAWAY. And you can find the main website at either of the channels, which is youtube.com/Outside Xbox, OUTSIDEXBOX. And of course you can find Outside Extra, also at YouTube, except that is OUTSIDEXTRA. That is how they spell extra.
Friends, for years, Henderson's Pants has been saying that we offer stylish lower body wear for every member of your family. Well, it's time to come clean. That hasn't been exactly truthful. Sure, Henderson's offered pants for mom and dad, brother and sister, even baby. But what about Fido and Fluffy, the dogs and cats of this great country? Aren't they members of the family too, you ask? Well, they are now. With Henderson's Pet Pants, your favorite furry friend doesn't have to be bare-assing around the house any longer. With more colors and fabrics than you can fetch a stick with, pets now have no excuse not to be putting on the dog or cat when it comes to stepping out in style. And Henderson's Pet Pants are not just limited to your pooch or pussy. Birds, fish, lizards. We are complete petophiles at Henderson's, and we have just the pant no matter what your companion's persuasion. Whether you want to see your Dalmatian in denim or your Persian in pedal pushers, we've got it. That squawking cockatiel in corduroy, goldfish in gold lame, or Komodo dragon in khaki, oh, we've got it. Henderson's can even lock your livestock up in stylish trousers. Imagine Porky's ham hocks in herringbone, or your frisky llama in linen. We've got that too. Originally designed for petting zoos, furry conventions, and the Bohemian Grove, Henderson's Pet Pants are now available, truly for the first time, for the entire family. That's Henderson's, makers of fine trousers and pantaloons since 1896, and now back to Succotash.
Thank you, Bill Haywatt. Finally, the Todd Glass Show from Misfit Toys. So the description says Todd Glass has his very own show. He brings on his funny friends and they talk about whatever they want. And of course, there are bits. Yes, there are. Yes, Todd Glass Show. I've listened to certainly not all of the episodes, but most of them. I have not listened in a while, and I really needed some comfort listening. So Todd Glass has been frequently featured on Succotash in form of clips and even interviewed a couple of times by Mr. Hershon. Seems like a great guy, very funny person. So I've chosen a clip from a show from quite a while ago, going back in time again to February 21st, 2020. That is featuring comedian Nick Swardson and Blake Wexler. So it says, the great Nick Swardson joins Todd this week, then Blake Wexler jumps on the mic for another great after show. I should point out, Blake Wexler does not feature in this clip. However, he and Todd Glass were both sampled by yours truly for a song called Curse, featuring Todd Glass and Blake Wexler, which is available on my SoundCloud, which you can find by going to www.tysonsaner.com. It is free. Enjoy. And in this clip, Nick Swardson recalls doing live events with Adam Sandler and others, and at this point in time, very much living, Norm Macdonald is fondly remembered.
Yeah, I've maxed out every liquor, I think, you know, when people will be like, oh, I can't even look at tequila anymore. I can't look at anything anymore.
Except diarrhea.
Play that tonight like 10 times. I really think we can make a comeback with this thing.
What is it?
It's a little sting, and I love it. It's my new favorite sting. It's a little sting, Count Basie sting. Boom, boom.
Oh,
boom.
a sting. I think I meant the artist Sting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's both.
No, it's just
Count Basie playing with Sting.
Is it?
I did the Santa Barbara Bowl with Sandler and Spade and Schneider on our tour, and the Santa Barbara Bowl is outside. It's lovely. And
how many people?
It's in a
is
neighborhood.
That?
It's like 400,000. No, I think it's like 2,000. And they have noise complaints where you have to stop at I think 9:30 or 10 because it's in a neighborhood. And they said except when Sting plays because all the neighbors are like, when you walk in fields of gold, and then everyone's walking around their house naked or something. I don't know what happens.
Well, is there any truth to that story about as far
that's
as
that's what I was told. Yeah, that it's certain artists that, you know what I mean. But Sandler's like, Yabadoo, and they're like, they can't sleep. And then Spade's like, hey, pal.
Hey, pal. What's up, pal?
I know it sounds like a novice question, but when you go on those tours with everyone, because when I'm on tour with just Spade, we have a really good time. It's fun. Bits. Do you guys have fun when you're out?
Yeah. We do. We have a blast. But it's kind of like, I've known them 15 years, and they've known each other 25 years, so we just know each other really well, so it's kind of, it's pretty funny, the dynamic. And then when you throw Norm Macdonald in the mix, it just is completely warped. In a good way, but it's just, you're on Planet Norm all of a sudden. What? He got mad at me one time, so we were at the last show of the tour, and Norm, we're on a mass text with everybody, and Norm goes on the mass text. He goes, "Hey, does anyone want to get breakfast?" And it was like 6 a.m, and we were all asleep. And he goes, I guess not. I'm going to find breakfast on my own. So then he goes, and then I woke up at like 9:30 a.m., and I did the mass text. I'm like, does anybody want to get breakfast? People are like, yeah, I'm down. And then so we all go down the lobby, and Norm's there, and he goes, what are you doing? And we're like, we're going to go get breakfast. He goes, he goes, oh, yeah, I saw that. The text, Swartzen took my idea for breakfast. He goes, I had that idea. And I go, yeah, that was at 6 a.m. We're all sleeping. So we're tired. He goes, yeah, well, you don't just, you can't give me credit for that? That's my idea. And I go, yeah, all right, sorry, Norm. It was your idea to have breakfast. And I go, where'd you go to eat? And he goes, I couldn't find any place. And I go, we're in a casino. They have breakfast 24 hours a day here. And he goes, yeah, I couldn't find it. I just walked around, and then I got a sandwich. And so we go to the concierge. She's right there, and we go, hey, is there any places to get breakfast? She goes, oh, yeah, there's like 3. And we're like, oh, really? And he goes, what? And then we went into a diner and we fucking got breakfast. And he was like all pissed off for like the rest of the day. Yeah, Swartz and his breakfast idea.
Norm's once we were at a diner that they said they didn't have breakfast for some reason, and then he ended up he didn't want breakfast, but he just never heard of a diner that didn't have breakfast. I'm like, wow, dude, I'm like, what are you talking?
Norm's a good buddy, and I text him, and every time I text him, I'll check in with him like every couple months, and I'll be like, hey, what's up, dude? You want to watch a game? And he'll be like, what? Who's this? And I go, it's fucking Nick Swartzen. And he goes, Nicky! What's going on, bud? How are you? And I go, do you not have my number saved? And he goes, no, I don't save numbers. And I go, so it's just a mystery every time somebody texts you. It's because he's done that to me every time I've texted him. What? Who's this? So I go, so you just want to be paranoid all the time?
That explains a lot of call. I will go not see him for 3 years, and I found the best way to get him here is to offer a ride to and from.
Right.
So that's how I lead from now on. He goes, I'm not really. I go, I'll pick you up. I'll drop you off. He goes, let me talk to him.
Did I ever tell you the story when I called him? It was a Sunday at noon. And I go, hey, what's up, man? I'm going to go watch. There's a triple header of baseball games on. Do you want to go watch? He goes, yeah, can you pick me up? And I go, no, I've already had a couple drinks. Just meet me. It's like literally a mile from your house. And this is before Uber. I could just call a cab or something. He goes, all right. And I go, yeah. So I sit there. One baseball game goes by. It's 3 hours. No Norm. Another 3 hours. 2 baseball games. That's 6 hours. Another baseball game. 3 baseball games. It's now 9 o'clock at night. I'm fucking wasted hammered. And in walks Norm to the bar. 9 hours later. And I'm getting my check and I'm leaving. He goes, what are you doing? You leaving? And I go, where the fuck have you been, man? I've been here for fucking 9 hours. I'm wasted. And he goes, yeah, no, I had to do chores. That was his excuse. I go, you had to do fucking chores?
I had to do chores.
Chores.
Yeah,
I go, that doesn't even make sense. You're a fucking adult.
Yeah, I still got
chores. You couldn't
chores.
tell me?
You know, I was going to do chores.
Yeah, and so I had like one drink and then I left.
You heard of the mall, right? You know the mall, right? He'll always ask you about common things that you know. I went to the mall. You know the mall, right? Yeah, I know the mall. I'm not.
Yeah,
Wait, what is a mall? What are you talking about? But you know what? If you don't see Norm long enough, I always start craving him. Like just a night with Norm, and I haven't seen Norm in 2 years, probably 2 years.
Yeah, no, he's always a good hang. He's so fucking funny. He's really great.
Nick Swartzen can be reached on Twitter at Nick Swartzen, capital N-I-C-K, capital S-W-A-R-D-S-O-N. Blake Wexler can be found at Blake Wexler, capital B-L-A-K-E, capital W-E-X-L-E-R. And Todd Glass can be found at Todd Glass, capital T-O-D-D, capital G-L-A-S-S. And the show's main website is listed as toddglass.com. That is TODDGLASS.com. Hey, we all made it to the end together. That idea puts an image in my head of a group photo of a large number of people posing with a single trophy that they all must share. And that was the last time that trophy was ever seen in one piece again. Be sure to listen here, or wherever you listen, to episode 316, which will be hosted by show creator and executive producer Mark Hershon, who managed to secure an interview with Blaine Capatch of the world-famous soundcast Nerd Poker. I will be looking forward to it as much as you no doubt are at this very moment, assuming this is the first moment you have learned of this. If all goes well, I should be back with an episode for you a week after that, featuring... I haven't the faintest clue yet, as I am still writing this. Thank you for listening. Be decent to each other. Avoid COVID-19, and definitely avoid spreading it to other people. If you can, at the very least, manage that. What you could spread, however, is this show, by sharing your awareness of it with other people. It's what we mean when we drop to our knees with our hands clasped together and implore you to please pass the succotash.
You've been listening to Succotash, the comedy soundcast, with your host, Tyson Saner. Brought to you by Henderson's Pants and...
Imagine your company's name right here.
Rate us and review us at Apple and Google Podcasts. Find us on the web at succotashshow.com, on Stitcher, on iHeartRadio, on YouTube,
on SoundCloud,
and wherever
fine soundcasts are streamed and or downloaded.
Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Succotash Show. Like us on Facebook. Email us at tyson@succotashshow.com or call into the Succotash Skype line at our toll call number 818-921-7212.
That number again is 818-921-7212.
You can also upload clips from your favorite comedy soundcasts directly to us using our direct upload link at hightail.com/you/succotash. Succotash is produced and engineered by Joe Paulino through the auspices of Studio P Sausalito, the home of the hit. Our hosts are Mark Hershon and Tyson Saner. Our musical director is
Scott Carvey.
Our booth assistant is
Kenny Durges.
Succotash is executive produced by Mark Hershon. Until next time, I'm your loyal booth announcer, Bill Haywatt, reminding you to please pass the succotash. Goodbye. This has been a Succotash Patch production.